us online at tra.com or call 800
Today's Friday, March 14th.
That's 800
This is the 1970 Cadillac DeVille and Eldorado high fidelity XHF radio system, AM FM stereo. It's clearly visible as an AM FM stereo radio for those who are familiar with the vintage Delco units, as you have the double heat sinks with dual capacitors. Okay, this is the signal seeking variant for the high fidelity XHF, and it includes automatic traversing of the needle, which we'll demonstrate here in just a moment, for both more stations, meaning those that are available to signal but not necessarily high fidelity, as well as stereo only, which would filter out the lesser non-fidelity signals and automatically sync and stop the needle from traversing any further once it finds a stereo station. So we've got 4 speakers connected. These units have a mandatory requirement for 10 ohm speakers. That does not mean 8 ohm, that does not mean modern 4 ohm speakers, but original 10 ohm speakers for the high fidelity variant stereo systems. In the AM FM mono Cadillac Delco radios, you can use an 8 ohm, you can get by with those, but you can't get by with an 8 ohm speaker in the high fidelity XHF signal seeking radios that have AM FM stereo. So this is an AM FM stereo high fidelity configuration. You have to have all 4 speakers fully attached to the system when you power on, or else you will cause catastrophic failure. You have to have all 4 speakers grounded. So here we can see we have the 4-plug connector for the front speaker, and then we have 2 individual connectors back here and here for the right rear and the left rear. So the left rear and the right rear speakers are connected from these 2 plug connectors. Okay, and the 2 fronts are connected from here. There is minor ground facilitated with the 4-plug connector, because you have 4 wires, obviously, for only 2 speakers. So you have the positive and the negative. Okay, and we can see the negative is identified in blue and the positive is identified in red. So there is an integral ground as well. You can actually look at the ground right here, but it's not for the entire configuration. It's merely to facilitate a minor grounding for the front speakers of the dash, with no grounding whatsoever of the rears. So if you rely on just grounding of the front speakers and you have rear speakers, you will burn up the radio. So all 4 speakers must be grounded, and must be grounded to the chassis. So in my configuration here, I'm taking advantage of the minor grounding, which is embedded within the harness, which is insufficient and specific only to the 2 front speakers. Okay, but I'm also I also have an ancillary wire here where we're grounded directly to the chassis. So I have 3 grounds, one coming from the battery, 1 ground wire going specific to my 2 speakers in the front, okay, and another ground wire going up here to the 2 rear speakers. So all 4 speakers are grounded. All right, so
with gladness, take away all my sadness, ease my troubles, that's what you do. Oh, yeah.
okay, so I've tested the bass and treble, the fader, front and rear, left and right, crisscross as well. Everything is functioning. And now I'm going to go ahead and apply the signal seeking. And I'll press stereo only. And we see the needle traversing across. Okay. And we have the more stations where you'll have stopping at non-stereo stations, low fidelity stations in other words. And stereo. Okay, this is for my friend Andy Fleschner in Orlando. This is George in Florida. I have over 375,000 original vintage parts from 1959 through 1976, all the way through 78 for the Cadillac Eldorados. I'm best known for my restoration of the Cadillac steering wheels, the tilt and telescopic steering columns, the power seat mechanisms, the instrument clusters, and other critical, hard to source, original vintage Cadillac items, including the original vintage AM/FM Delco fully restored radios, both 8-track from 71 through 78, as well as signal seeking from 1970 through 1978, and then the earlier legacy vintage radios from 59 through 69.
Like to get my left caught in the slamming door.